All right, and we are live. So, warm welcome to each and everyone. My name is Phil from Let Us Talk It team. So, we do free webinars for everyone from anywhere you are in the world. You are free to join. And the goal of this webinar is to share knowledge for free. So, this is an initiative made possible by Cogent Integrated Business Solutions. So, they're an IT company. If you want to visit their website, it's www.cogentibs.com. So they wanted to give back to the community, and the best way to do it is to share knowledge for free because it's the greatest treasure that no one can steal from anyone. So knowledge is very valuable, especially hearing those knowledge and information along with the journey and the experiences of seasoned professionals that we are inviting as guest speakers, definitely. And they are very willing to join the initiative in joining this commitment to sharing knowledge for free. They have allowed us to invite them, and also they will share their spare time to be able to share their experiences and the topic that they have chosen to share. We do this every Wednesday, 12 noon to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you're free, you can join in on live Zoom or you can watch us on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is Let Us Talk It. All right. So the first topic that we have today is about can jewelry genuinely impact our emotional health? So there was a topic the other Wednesday about this, and we requested a continuation about this topic because um, mental health, emotional health is understated as of the moment. Like it's something that needs to be discussed more because it is important to our professionals or for those uprising uh, professionals. And we have here our returning speaker, Professor Amisha Dauda, who is the founder of Jewellery Beauty Corporate Gifting Education and has a PhD scholar in GBIMS and academics as well in NMIMS and a psychologist and has and very delighted actually to join us today and also a dynamic entrepreneur and educator and as mentioned she's the founder of Krishnam Global Company and leads six unique brands including Misha's designer jewelry serving esteemed clients like corporate leaders and celebrities. And the topic is about like jewelry is more than just like an accessory. It can profoundly influence our emotional well-being. Wearing the right jewelry has the potential to rewire your brain, fostering positivity and emotional balance. And it can serve as a powerful tool to enhance self-esteem and boost self-worth, acting as a daily reminder of confidence and empowerment. And more of this will be discussed by our profound Professor Amisha Dauda. And let me present her to you. Hello, Professor Amisha. Welcome again
Hi,
to Let
Phil.
Us Talk It.
Hi, everyone. Yes.
All right. Hope you're doing great today. So,
Yes. Thank you so much.
yeah, thank you for allowing us to have you again in this platform to talk about your uh, your favorite topic or like an area that's closest to your heart and your profession definitely, which is alongside with jewelry and mental health as well. So yes, we wanted to hear more about the topic if you wish to proceed.
Sure. Okay. Shall I, Phil?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay. Uh, Good evening, everyone. Professor Amisha Davda here from India, Mumbai. And thank you so much, Phil, for inviting me, for sharing my valuable insights. And hi to everyone, to all the participants. So this time I'm able to see more number of participants. Okay. Well, as Phil has already mentioned about my brand, I would like to give a brief, like what are we into? Our core business is jewelry, and we deal into imitation kind of jewelry. The examples are like it's a painted jewelry, handmade, meenakari, then it can be 92.5 silver, gold, glass jewelry, the party wear, western. So I've got more than 112 categories with me. Besides this, we have almost three brands with us. One is a high-end brand by the name of Amisha's Designer Jewelry, where we already have a trademark. The second one is corporate jewelry, and the third one is a local brand what we deal into. Also, we have something about corporate gifting in jewelry. So that is also what we have initiated with. We have our esteemed clients as actors, actresses, corporators, local customers, bankers. So universities, college teachers, a lot of people have been our clients. And so far, yes, we have got around 17 awards for our brand. So it's a privilege that way. Well, I'll directly come to my topic now. The topic is like when we talk about the emotions, do you think like jewelry can genuinely impact your emotional health? Well, if you don't mind, is it okay if I like allow participants to chat? I think so. It can be a two-way communication.
Yes. Everyone are welcome to chat or raise their hand if they wish to interact.
Please. Yeah. So, can anyone from the audience tell me like how is jewelry connected to your emotions, or why jewelry is so important for your emotional and mental health?
Yes, go
Okay.
on, chat. For me, from my opinion, I'm not very fond of wearing any, but what I usually wear is a watch.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but it's an accessory still, so like it makes you a little more comfortable being around with people because sometimes people just watch you and look at you on what you're wearing or what you have, and then you are being let me just use judged
Right,
according to what they see on your body.
right. Okay. Now, see, when we talk about jewelry, it's not just only an accessory. Many a times we wear jewelry. Why? Because we want to be projected in a very different way. People judge us in a very different way. So here, my topic is how jewelry is connected to your emotions, how it is connected to your emotionally, how it is connected with you. See, I'll
Mm.
just give you a very simple example here where we start with a small case study. Whenever we wear jewelry, what happens is there is a we work with different kind of metals, and that metal when it touches your skin, you have a feel good feeling or a feel good factor. Or many a times it happens certain jewelry pieces are not meant to be for your skin, so you have an irritation on your skin, or maybe you find it very heavy. So it's very very important to choose the right kind of jewelry. Now, here I'll take a very simple example, especially coming to the emotional part. See, when we talk about emotions, what is it? It is all about your how do you feel, how you share your things. Are you feeling good? Are you feeling bad? When you wear some certain things, you have a certain kind of feeling. So, when I wear a certain piece of jewelry, what is going to happen is how it is going to connect with my brain. See, your brain has got certain kind of neurons. So when you wear something, whenever you are wearing any piece of jewelry, for example, a matha patti, I'm talking about a mangtika, or it is a matha patti which is worn by a bride. Okay, it activates your chakras, it activates your even your the jewelry when it is put on the forehead, the mangtika. It activates your third eye chakra. Your thinking is going to be more clear in that case. So when you have that feel good factor feeling, your brain is getting certain kind of signals. So whenever, even when many a times people compliment you for your the kind of jewelry what you're wearing, we start having a very good kind of feeling. Okay, your brain accepts certain things. Okay, fine, and this is what I'm going to wear. Is going to make me feel nice. It is going to make me feel good. And your brain stores all this experience in your, it has got a very long term memory. It stores into Like the brain stores all this memory, and that memory stays with you for a very, very long time. That is the reason you see many times we like wearing a particular, like say, attire or a particular kind of earring, because there is more kind of comfort in that. So because of that comfort, we feel good. When we feel good, your brain has got a positive impact. It has got some kind of electromagnifying impact. Okay, again, that is going to make me very happy. When it makes me happy, my cells are more happy. When my cells are more happy, what is going to happen? There is a hormonal balance what I have, and I'm going to have some kind of glow on my face. So there is this kind of connection we have. Besides this, also, if you notice, when you feel good, when you feel nice, okay, there is a certain kind of glow on your face, and people view you in a very different way. Now we'll take some examples over here. See, when you wear a matha patti, especially a mang tika, as I told you, it activates your chakras, and that thinking, that clarity, the thought, what you have, it becomes more clear. Apart from this, when I'm wearing a nose pin, I don't think so. This is what I discussed in my last time. So nose pin, when you're wearing, it controls your emotions, and there are nerves which controls your emotions. So person who, like he or she is emotionally, like say, a very, very sensitive kind of person, that nose pin can really help out. Besides this, it is very good for period cramps. Apart from this, a lady, when she is about to deliver a baby, if she has got, like, her nose is pricked, it will really help out very well during the labor pain. I don't know how many people are aware about these things. Coming to the earrings part, like when I'm wearing a earring, for example, I'm wearing, this is the earring what I'm wearing, it's slightly on a longer side. This earrings I wear, or maybe the tops I'm wearing, a small button kind of earrings, or maybe a jhumka, will have a different kind of pressure points on my nose. Earrings are connected to your eyes, and it improves your eyesight. Especially, it improves your eyesight. Is anyone aware about this? Earring makes such a big impact. Now coming to the necklace part, when I'm wearing necklace, can anyone tell me, like in the chat box, or even raise your hand, like if you wear a short necklace, or you wear a medium size, like a long necklace, how it is going to impact your emotional health, or how it is going to make you feel? Okay, I have one chat with me. I'll just read it. Is from Priyanka. I agree. Wearing jewelry makes me feel good and confident at work. There are even times when I forget to put on my watch, and it leaves my day feel incomplete. Yes, I agree with you, Priyanka. I really agree with you on this point. So that's a very interesting question. So can anyone tell me, if you're wearing a neck piece, what way it makes you feel, and has it got any kind of benefits? I want everyone to be engaged. Like, you can try giving your answers. So I'm not going to judge you.
Yes, go ahead and
And
yeah, put it in chat.
okay,
I'd like to put an opinion, but I never
yeah,
wore a
please.
necklace.
Okay, anyone can, like, put it in chat. See, especially when you're wearing a neck piece, it's very important. It activates your throat chakra. Have you observed many times people are not able to express what they want to express? Either they feel shy in expressing things, or they feel I'll be rejected if I say the reality, or if I say some truth. When you're talking about the chokers, they're the fitted neck pieces. It activates your throat chakra. And when your throat chakra is balanced, what is going to happen is you're able to express your thoughts more clearly. I'm not going to undermine what I'm going to say, neither I'm going to exaggerate what I'm going to say. Okay. And of course, there are so many other reasons also when it comes to, it is not only the jewelry. Jewelry is one of the important reason, like, it activates your throat chakra. Coming to the neck piece, which is mostly 18 to 24 inches in size, it activates your heart chakra. If you see, you must have seen some people, they are highly overwhelming, or maybe they are very emotional kind of people. So when this neck pieces they touch your heart, again, your heart is going to calm down in a different way, and it also reduces your stress and anxiety. There is a very important significance of wearing Mangal Sutra. India, like most of the married women, will wear it. Of course, nowadays this generation is not wearing, but this is one of the reasons to calm down your anxiety, and there is a more love kind of feeling, especially when you wear such kind of neck pieces. Now, the neck piece what I have worn is slightly longer in size. So it is more than, like, say, around 22 to 23 inches. So this kind of neck pieces, again, you wear, again, it activates your, like, different kind of chakras. We have got sacral chakra, we have got heart chakra. So it gets activated. When it gets activated, your hormones are in balance. So, we have that feel good kind of feeling. So that is very important. Coming to the watches, like when we wear watch, okay, I'll read one chat before starting. I prefer my necklace to be short and understated, something that doesn't draw too much attention. Okay, great. uh Fine. So now when I'm talking about like wearing a watch or a bangle, again, it is going to control my blood pressure, and it is also going to, like, people who get angry very easily. So a watch or a bangle or a bracelet can be a very important piece of accessory to, calm down the stress and anxiety. And especially even when you wear a green color, again, it helps you out in calming down your anxiety. Now, coming to bichwa, I don't know how many people know bichwa is worn on the toes, like the legs. You see, the third finger, married women in India usually they prefer wearing it on the third finger. So this is also going to help you out controlling like pain during the period. Apart from this, again, it circulates the blood flow. And unmarried women in India, I've seen a lot of places, Indian, we have seen this, they wear it on the second toes. So again, it has got a lot of relevance when you wear jewelry.
Yes.
Now, see, when we
Yes. Yes.
wear jewelry,
Mm.
what happens is the metal touches your skin. Certain metals are not meant for your skin. I'll give you a very simple example here. There are different kind of metals like brass, copper, then you have silver, gold plating, gold, nickel. Nickel is such of the metal which is not suitable for every skin type. People who are very very sensitive or has got a hyper kind of sensitive, nickel and zinc is not the right kind of metal to be used for them. Okay, their skin will start reacting. You must have observed some people, they say, I get rashes when I wear certain kind of jewelry. That metal is not suitable for your skin, so you should avoid that. Instead of that, you can prefer copper, or you can prefer say a brass metal, which is commonly used in most of the jewelry. Now, how this wearing jewelry can increase your self-worth and self-esteem, and how it can make yourselves happy. See, when I get compliment, when I wear something which is going to look nice, which is going to suit my personality, something which matches my, like, say, skin tone. I can again give you an example. People who have a fair skin should ideally prefer wearing stones and jewelry which are not very vibrant in color. Then, of course, it's a personal choice. A person who is dark skin or has got a medium kind of skin tone usually should wear jewelry which is burgundy in color. Now, this is the jewelry what I'm wearing. It has got a burgundy kind of stone or a dark green color which will enhance their look. When we wear those kind of colors, there is again a different kind of reaction on your feelings. When we feel good, again there is a glow on skin. Another thing is we are more confident that way and we feel worthy. And even whenever you're wearing jewelry, people are going to judge your status, your financial status, from which background this person is coming. You always see a person who is well dressed is always a one people would love to talk to that person. I'll give you a simple example here. I've been a part of a lot of networking groups in India, and of course abroad also. Like, I'm connected to a lot of networking groups. I've seen there is a person, this lady, she's superb with her work, but ideally she doesn't dress up very well. So she looks more than her age. And like probably she's in her 30s, but she looks more than 40. Why? Because first of all, what I've noticed is her height is around 5'2". She wears something which is very heavy, plus she's slightly hefty. So in this case, you should wear jewelry which is slightly sleek, something which is got some kind of detailed design. Okay, next time, like whenever I come for the lecture, of course, definitely I'm going to prepare my slides and some faces, so I'll get a better idea. This time I was not aware. I apologize for that. So this lady, that is one thing. Another thing is she has got a round kind of face. On a round face, if you wear a round earring, your face is going to look plump, and you become conscious. When you become conscious, people start observing all this thing. People will see how confident you are. So this is the way many a times you lose your confidence, and I have seen she's not a part of a crowd many a times. Like in the group, she's not invited because her dressing is not that wow kind of thing. People observe all these things. They also observe how you're representing your culture, what I'm wearing. See, today I'm wearing something which is a very Indian kind of attire, something which is a handmade kind of thing. The jewelry, what I'm wearing right now, this is called as a silver replica jewelry. It's not a real silver. It's a black polish or an antique silver replica jewelry. In fact, if I go to make this jewelry, the real one, it is not going to cost me less than 1 lakh rupees. This jewelry is costing me just 3,500 rupees, Indian rupees. But they're all duplicates of silver. So, a person who is going to wear like, say, cotton kind of attire, or maybe you want to wear a jeans and kurti. So this kind of jewelry, this kind of accessories, they go very well. So when I'm looking, I'm feeling good. I'm going to be more confident. Okay, people see my body language, they understand my expressions, and this is the way what happens is my cells are going to become more happy. When I'm more happy, I'm able to make better relations. Where my relations are better, definitely my business is going to grow very well. And always remember one thing, just be yourself. When you're in public, try to be yourself. Of course, you have to present yourself in a, as your role demands, you have to present yourself in a very different way. But always remember, people feel your vibrations. They see what you are sharing, what information you're sharing, and be a solution provider. So this is a way, like, probably I can create my self-worth. And always make sure when you're wearing your jewelry, it should match your attire, your face cut, your hairstyle. Someone who has got very curly hair, and if you're going to wear jewelry which is going to be very, 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 like, say, with a lot of detailing design, your face is going to look really broad. So you have to wear something where it should be a more of a simple kind of design. And the designs have to be toned down. Another thing is your handbags, your shoes, overall everything has to match your jewelry, and definitely that is going to make you feel more comfortable. I should not wear something because others are wearing. I have to wear something which is where I'm more comfortable. That jewelry has to be skin friendly. Plus, it should also be. I also ensure that jewelry is in trend. The other thing is the piece should not be very heavy. If you are able to carry a good piece, it's absolutely okay. With different occasions, I wear a different kind of jewelry. If I wear a jewelry which is very heavy, it will look very strange.
There might be some network interruption. So let's just wait for a few moments. And if you have
For
any
me.
questions,
Yeah.
definitely, yeah, we
So
lost you a little there,
yes,
Professor.
I'll
Yeah.
repeat it. I'll repeat it. I was mentioning that when your cells are going to hear everything. I tell myself, wow, I'm looking great. Okay. Everything is taken by my cells, and everything is stored into my subconscious mind. Okay. So again, second time when someone is going to compliment, you are going to remember, okay, last time I was looking good in this jewelry, this attire. Okay, I've got a lot of compliments. Let me try this jewelry again. So I've already mentioned in my, you have to wear the right kind of jewelry, not jewelry. The right kind of jewelry is very important. Last time I got a compliment in this jewelry. Let me try another design of the same metal in this jewelry because I've got a lot of compliments. I'm going to have the feel good kind of factor, and I'm more confident in whatever way I'm wearing. So that is what all I would like to say. And if you have any questions, yes. I'm open to answering them.
That is totally agreeable. Fantastic topic, definitely. So everything starts within yourself. So if you don't feel comfortable, then then you'll get all anxious, and it will be hard for you to interact with your surroundings. Definitely.
Yes. Because
All right.
something what we wear, and if it's not comfort, you start losing your confidence and you start becoming more conscious. So that's very important. Just feel that metal is important, the softness is important, the polish and everything again plays a very, very important role. So ultimately, it has to be like, a complete kind of package in whatever you are wearing. That is what I would like to say.
All
Yes.
right. Well, thank you so much, Professor Amisha,
Thank
for
you
that
so much.
fascinating topic. So, if you need some advices, or maybe you wanted to ask some offline question, you can actually search Professor Amisha Dauda on LinkedIn, and you can message her. So definitely, you can interact with her if you have questions about jewelries, or ask her opinion about, well, what's the right metal jewelry that you may be able to use to boost your confidence further. So yeah, let's check with any questions. If there are none, we'll be moving to the second topic that we have today.
Okay,
And
thank you so much, Phil, and thank you so much for the to the participants for listening to me patiently. Thank you so much.
all right, well, that was a wonderful topic. Thank you so much.
Thank
And yeah, we'll be moving to the second topic that we have today. And let me introduce the topic really quick, and then I'll introduce the guest speaker that we have invited for this topic. So, the second topic is what is O1, the new model family for reasoning, and when to use them. So, this topic actually is about an overview of OpenAI's O1 family of reasoning models and best practice of using them effectively, along with the suitable use cases. And to talk about this topic is a director and a specialist of data and AI at Microsoft in the Northeast region, with over 23 years of experience in data and AI. And he has passion in working with customers and industry leaders in finding value through data and AI. And as mentioned, our speaker is the director of data and AI at Microsoft, none other than Shadab Hussein. Is with us today. Hello, Mr. Hussein. Thank you so much for joining us today, and joining us in this initiative of sharing knowledge for free. Welcome to Let Us Talk platform. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. Greetings, everyone.
Great to hear. And we're excited to hear about the topic that you have today. So, yeah, you should be able to proceed. If you have slides, the share option is available as well.
Yeah, let me share my slides here. Okay, let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes,
Um, and what do you really see?
yes, we have the QR and in your logo, reasoning models.
Okay, great. So you can see my slides. All right. So, greetings, everyone. Today's topic is reasoning models, and we'll discover a little bit about the reasoning models and why we're talking about them today. A little bit about myself, based out of New Jersey, and I'm the data and AI director at Microsoft. I actually have been doing the data and AI for last 23 years. It really is my passion, including some of the other passions as well. I love reading more about the history and heritage, as well as I love playing tennis, and AI is my other passion. So I also run a podcast and a YouTube channel called the AI Files, along with my colleague Jimmy Basilico, also at Microsoft. And every week we release an episode where we talk about what is the latest and the greatest in the AI world. Because there's just every week so much happens really in the AI, and it's truly unique because AI is not just a technology, it is also, the way you will do things, like a AI first approach, where you start actually. So it's going to fundamentally transform the world because now you can do, or rather redesign and reset everything based on AI. So it's going to redesign our world that way, right? So for example, the way we do our work today, that is being rebooted. Because you can use a Microsoft Copilot, for example, creating the content. I make the presentations, I make the documents, I write the emails, I do the research in my daily job using the Copilot, for example. So it has already changed the way I work. AI is also a challenge. It is like, in fact, in the words of United Nations President Antonio Guterres, it is one of the other challenge, the two challenges, top challenges that he has talked about. Other is the climate control, and the second is the AI. So they've even actually formed the councils and committees because this can fundamentally change the world for good and for bad. And that's why it is important to actually learn about its impact, its ethical considerations, the impact it will have on the job, the impact it will have on the jobs, not just in terms of the number, but also the quality of the jobs, etc. So it is truly remarkable, and that's why every week we just talk about different aspects, how you can use AI, how you can transform your career, because it is also a technology which will touch upon every single thing, whether it's arts, whether it's technology, whether it's content creation, or even the blue collar jobs. In a way, it will touch upon everything. So let's talk about one of the topic today, and you can find me on the YouTube with the channel name the AI Files. This is the logo and this is the QR code if you want to subscribe and check that out. Now let's talk about the reasoning models. So what are the reasoning models that we'll talk about today? So reasoning models are from OpenAI's and they are called O1. They come in two variants. When they were launched in September, they were called O1 Preview and O1 Mini. But just yesterday, OpenAI actually did the announcement and they have launched the full-fledged model called O1. In fact, they actually did this, the beginning of this event series that is going on right now. It's called Shipmess. OpenAI is having like 12 days of fun and festivities and doing a lot of announcements. And the first day itself, they actually announced the O1. But yesterday, they did some more announcements as well. So O1 is slightly different from what you already know about the GPT-4 Omni, right? So you might have used the GPT-4o or GPT-4o Mini. Now, even if you have not used them directly, I can also tell you that most likely you have used them, you just don't know because these models have become quite ubiquitous. For example, LinkedIn uses the LLMs. You can actually use the LinkedIn to write the post, which is what I do. I rewrite the post using the AI. You can also use the Meta's LLMs, for example, on the Meta's applications. But the Azure OpenAI or other OpenAI's models are used in a lot of places like GitHub, etc. If you are into coding. So Oven models, however, are different from GPT-4 Omni, and we'll talk about that difference. But what are the Oven models? So Oven models are essentially suited for the advanced reasoning and they can solve the complex problems. They are more capable than the GPT-4 Omni models or the GPT 3.5 models, etc., because they can use the logical problem solving methods. They can do the complex math, they can do the scientific inquiries, and they can do the extended conversations. Because what happens is in a large language model, typically like GPT-4o, these models love to talk. Okay, they will talk anything, and that's why when they talk, we also have the issues of the hallucinations because they are probably embarrassed to say ever that they don't know. They will even invent the facts and the figures to actually tell you what you want. So they are funny sometimes, and that's why it is important to have security guardrails as well when you are interacting. In fact, in a famous news, actually, one of the lawyer he actually used the Chat GPT to create the supporting content for his legal case, and the Chat GPT actually invented some cases from the past and so gave that content. The lawyer did not do the homework and did not check, validate that content, validate those cases, because those cases never happened really. So ChatGPT is capable of creating, they are pretty good lawyers, I would say, if they want to be. And that's why, but you can mitigate those issues. It is not something that you cannot avoid. What Owen does is they actually love to calculate. So they calculate, they do the math, they do the comparison, right? So, for example, there is a famous meme that happened a few months ago, which was about counting the R's in the strawberry word. And actually, most of the models were getting it wrong, including GPT-4 Omni. They were actually saying, oh, there are just two R's. The reality is there are three R's in strawberry. And they were getting it wrong because, first of all, they try to consider the entire problem as one chunk. And this is a very small example. Owen does get it right. And the reason being is there's something called chain of thought prompting. So chain of thought is, for example, if you ask a human what if you ask the same question, how many hours are in strawberry, human is going to look at it visually, right? It knows visually. It doesn't need to break the problem down as simple as this problem. It knows visually, oh yeah, there is one S and there are three R's, etc., right? It's so instinctive, you don't have to even break it down. But that's not how the models work, right? So the models need to break down the problem. Now, most of the large language models, they actually sometimes they get it wrong because they are not good in counting. They're not good in calculating. That's a reality. And that is why when particularly comes to the facts and figures, don't simply go by what the GPT-4 Omni or Claude or Gemini will say. But what Owen will do is it will break down the problem. So it will say, okay, let us see what is the spelling of strawberry. What are the different characters in it, right? S, T, it will break it down. Then it will calculate and see, okay, how many characters are common, right? Okay, there are three R's, there is one S, there is one T, and all that, right? Okay. Now calculate how many characters you have for each of them. And then it will say, okay, there are three R, and then it will give you the answer, right? So as simple question for a model, it has to do breakdown of that problem, and that is called chain of thought prompting. Now, if you want to do, let's say, much more complicated stuff, right? So let's say you want the model to analyze a company's performance, a stock performance, for example. You can say that, okay, analyze this company's balance sheet, income statement, all the financial statements, analyze its track record of the stock, and do an analysis and tell me, should I buy or sell this stock? Okay. The Owen models can actually do that because what they're going to do is they will break down this problem. Now, this problem is complex. This problem is not as easy as counting R's in a strawberry. So you have to break it down. You have to collect all the figures. You have to collect all the facts. You have to track record. You have to basically keep track of the information over the years and see what happens. And then you have to calculate the projection, and then you have to do the conservative analysis and the optimistic analysis and all that. The Owen models can do it right. If you ask the GPT-4o, it's probably going to give you a wrong answer, or it may even fail to complete that because it is not going to be able to keep track of all these calculations, all these insights, the insight from one step to next step. It cannot keep track of it. It's just not good at it. Okay, because these models are really good at chatting. They really love to talk, but they don't really love to calculate. So that is why it is a problem. So reasoning models, they do it really well. Now, the information that I'm going to talk about today is a very recent information. Some of the information has come out just yesterday. So I've updated that presentation as well. Now, Oven model, as of today now, supports multimodal. So they can actually take the input from in terms of the text or the image, and they can give you the output. The Oven Mini, however, take only text as an input and the output. It has 180K context window, which is measured in terms of the tokens. I think most of you will know what token is. Token is roughly, I would say, as for a easy understanding, it's like a syllable. Okay, not a word. Tokens. There are more tokens than words in a document. So the tokens are more equivalent of syllable. So, and the knowledge cutoff is October 2023. Now, what it also does is when it was launched initially, these models they could not read any document, they could not connect with anything else. So you have to paste entire context, entire data into that window and then ask it to analyze it. But now, going forward from today onwards, now they can actually connect. They can do something called function calling. Like they can connect to other APIs. You can call the function like get the weather information, things like that. They can actually, that means they can also talk to, let's say, Bing search and get the latest information, right? But also remember that when you try to do breakdown of the problem, it is going to take longer. So that is why they take much, much longer. So GPT-4o Omni can give you a response in just 5 seconds. But O1 model is going to take probably 25 seconds because it is going to break down a problem. It is like a human, somebody who takes time to think and they respond really after considering and thinking all the things, and in their mind they're validating and they're saying, okay, hold on, let me check this, let me search this, doing all those things, right? There are people like that. That is the equivalent of the Owen model. And there are people like they will first speak and then think, um, and sometimes they know a little, but they will try to answer as fast as possible because they believe in the speed. Those are like regular LLMs. Now, what these models are good for? These models, the reasoning models, are really good for generating complex code. You want to build a video game? Try this model. You want to build complex websites? Try this model. This model is great at coding. It can keep track of it. And the chances of bugs are much lesser. Chances of missing functionality is much lesser. And you can do it yourself. Go to the chatgpt.com, try these models because these models are now available. The O1 model is available in the ChatGPT. The GPT-4 Omni models is also available. You can pick any of them. Now remember one thing. It is called O1 model. This is not called GPT O1 models because GPT is is a different family. This is not a just a next version of the GPT-4o. Okay, so they are good in generating complex code. They are really good in problem solving and brainstorming. For example, you can, let's say, I want to actually do a I'm doing a research on, let's say, molecular discovery, which can help in, let's say, some cancer treatment. Generate me a research plan, and it can generate you a research plan, and then you can actually ideate with this, right? Okay, I've tried this molecule. It can You can give it the access and you can give it all the documents. You can ideate with it. So it's a really good for research assistant, really good tool. Comparative analysis. You want to throw two documents, say that okay, compare and tell me what's the difference, etc. This model can do really well. Or the instruction following, right? So they're really adhere to the command. Sometimes the models go on the tangent otherwise. Okay, just yesterday, these were the new things that were addressed and the announced. So function calling. Now this oven model can actually connect to the external data and APIs. They can also create the structured output. Structured output is like, for example, rather than just a textual response, they can also actually create the structured outputs like in a JSON format. You can tell it that, okay, generate the output in this particular format, because then it's easy for your application to consume the JSON output. You can also actually do a lot more configuration setting, for example, defining tone, style, and other thing. You can tell it to be more compassionate or very brief and things like that. You can also actually reason over images. So, like for example, you can probably and there was, I think, a demo done by Greg Brockman also on the CNN, where you could actually draw and tell that, okay, if the body parts are in the right place or not. For example, that's what he had done. But you can actually, for example, use these images and reason over them, right? Maybe you can draw something and say that, okay, does this drawing look good from a structure integrity point of view if I build this as a house, things like that, right? so it can use those images. It is much faster compared to the original O1 preview, which was announced in September, because it has now, like, it uses on average 60% fewer reasoning token. Because the reason it is important is because the reasoning models O1 preview, when they were announced, they actually would generate 6 to 10 times more token. Now you will say, okay, does it mean that the output will be 6 to 10 times more lengthy? No, the output would probably, in fact, be shorter because it will give you more concise output. However, in the interim, it will generate a lot of steps, as I talked about, right? Chain of thoughts. Every step will require an interim output and interim then consumption of the input. So it generates a lot more interim output, which also are chargeable. And that is why they were more expensive. These models are much more expensive. And then there is also new setting they've allowed, which is called reasoning effort. So you can control that. You can say, look, don't take too long. Don't take like 30 seconds to answer. Just take about 15 seconds, and you can cut down a little bit of the reasoning. So you have a little bit more playroom to play with that. Look at the comparative benchmarks, right? O1 models with the structured output. This is where it is, right? So much ahead of the GPT-4o. You can see that. This is the GPT-4o column. This is the GPT. This is the O1 model, right? So they are better in the structured outputs, in the function calling, and all that kind of thing. They are also good, for example, on the different benchmarks, like let's say the math or the code or PhD level science question, which even humans are not performing that well on average. These models, O1 model, is actually performing far ahead, right? Look at compared to the GPT-4o, and GPT-4o is a cutting edge models, large language model. So these models are really good. You can also see, for example, how they perform on various evals. In fact, they perform so well that OpenAI actually had to create new levels of evaluation to show the improvement. Because as I say, right, these are not just the next iteration of GPT-4o. They are very different family. And that's why this naming is also different. It is not called GPT-5. It is called O1 because it's a new family of model. So it's not going to replace GPT-4o. And that's important because if you look at it from a comparison point of view, and this is a quick comparison, it uses even a lot more parameters, and this is a little bit guesswork because nobody knows really. Like you can see, however, that owen models are much bigger. They can take now more tokens, 200K tokens. As of yesterday it was announced, they can take more inputs. They can actually, the latency is now better, and things like that, right? But they do cost more. Okay, so what are they good at? Like advanced research and the creative content generation, right? Or the real-time application and the complex problem solving. That's what owen models are really good for. And they have like a mini me kind of a version, owen mini, right? So owen mini is like faster, cheaper. It may have its like a smaller size, but it will be less cost, right? So they are pretty good in, like, for example, mobile application because they're faster. You can do it on the edge computing, right? Where you are not connected with a lot of compute, or small, like application solution. That's what you can use them. The key takeaway is the big strength of Owen model is really keeping track of a large quantity of details and keeping up with the nuance without losing the context. Otherwise, what used to happen is like needle in the haystack. These models sometimes forget what they're doing. If it is taking too longer, sometimes they will just forget it and they will like stop working altogether, right? If it is taking too long. Anyway, so however, don't use this for everything. Owen model, use it in these kind of situation. Use the oven mini in these kind of scenario, like like where you want a very good instruction following and small context operation, but you want the good reasoning, and you should continue to use. In fact, I would say 80%, 90% of the time, probably you will still be using the GPT-4 Omni. But the rest 10, 20%, you should really use the oven models and get the advantage of really highly powerful. By the way, nobody else has it. Google doesn't have this model, a reasoning model. Anthropic doesn't have any reasoning model. Amazon doesn't have any reasoning model. There are only OpenAI who actually has a reasoning model in US. There are only a couple of companies who have just recently launched a reasoning model based out of China. Like for example, I think Quen has some new reasoning model. There is another reasoning model called DeepSeek that was also just launched a few weeks ago. They're not as good as O1. In some areas, they do try to match the capability of O1 Preview, but the O1, which was released actually just in the last 1 week, is actually even better than the O1 Preview. This is the quick cost comparison. So you can see, let's say GPT-4o, it will cost you $2.5 for 1 million input token, right? And $10 for 1 million output token. But the O1 model will cost you actually much more, $15 for input and $60 for the output. So almost essentially 6 times. Okay, 6 times more costly. That's why I don't use it for everything. So really, I think this is what I really had today to tell you about the reasoning model, and I would say that um, start with, if you have a chat gpt instruction, a chat gpt access, you can go to that list and you can start playing with it. Take one prompt, play with, try GPT-4o, and then try GPT-o1, sorry, o1 model, and then compare. This is the best way to go. Sometime you will find tremendous difference in the output of the two models. In those cases, then try to go with the higher capability model if you want to be very sure of the output. But if the outputs are roughly about same in both the cases, and you constantly see that okay, GPT-4o is also equally good or almost good as O1, then just stick with the GPT-4o. Okay, so that's a reality, and that is how you should use a reasoning model. Remember, reasoning models inherently have chain of thought prompting. They are specifically trained on reasoning, so they are really good at thought process. They are really high IQ person. Okay, and you don't need high IQ person for every small task. Remember, 80% of your tasks should still be easily and comfortably done by the GPT-4 Omni and GPT-4 Mini, and use them. You don't need to use the own model. Let's say you want to build a lot of content oriented. There are companies who are, for example, they are taking lots of document and creating a summarization. Use the GPT-4o. It is really good at it. You don't have to use a reasoning model. Reasoning is where the mathematical, operations research, scientific inquiries, logical, complex problem solving, puzzle solving, crossword, that's where actually you need a reasoning model. Okay. With that, I'm going to stop. Any question anybody has?
Yes, feel free to ask questions, definitely. Put it on chat or raise your hand. Only one thing I'm curious about, like, are there like some limited time free usage of these models, or you have to put on subscriptions to be able to take advantage of these
Yeah, so
models?
Chat GPT, if you have a Chat GPT subscription, you can actually use that, which is what I use, Chat GPT Plus subscription. You can use these models. I believe in the free version also they might have, but I have not tried it personally. But I know ChatGPT Plus, definitely you have the access to it. There is also another new subscription plan OpenAI launched beginning of I think last week, which was called Pro subscription, which is $200 a month. So it is 10 times more expensive than the Plus. In that, they actually give more computing power for the O1 model. So O1 model has even more computing power, which means that sometimes they're performing better when you have the Pro subscription. But again, as I said, most of the time you don't need a Pro subscription. O1 is good enough for any of those things. In fact, majority of the tasks, GPT-4 Omni is good enough.
I see. Thank you. And we have here a question: do I need a strong background in AI to start using these models, or are they accessible to non-technical users?
I would say not at all. Remember what Andre Karpathy famous tweet said, that the hottest new programming language is English. So as long as you know English or even the other languages, because most of these models they understand. In fact, I talk to a lot of time the Chat GPT and these models in other languages. It even supports the audio now, so you can easily converse in your local language or English and do things. You can give the instruction, okay, for example, write me a video game for Tic Tac or sorry, Pac-Man or the Space Invader or things like that. Just using English, you can converse. You don't need a strong technical background at all.
I see. Thank you. I hope that takes care of that question. The next one we have, sir, is AI tools often require access to a lot of information. How can I be sure my personal or work related data is safe?
Yes. So, and um, that is why it is important that you assess what kind of data you have first and what kind of sensitivity you want. Most of the models, for example, I work for Microsoft, and when the customer uses the Azure, we actually give a written commitment that we do not use your data for any training. Your data does not go out of the Azure, right? So if you're an enterprise user, you are safe. If you are a personal user, make sure that when you are signing up, for example, for chat gpt plan, etc., you can opt out, and you can make sure that your data is not used for any training. That means they will not retain it. They do retain some of the history, but there are some configuration setting that you must evaluate and make sure that you're comfortable signing up for those things. By and large, we have not seen so far any like incidences where your sensitive data has been, it hasn't happened. Very few cases that has happened where somebody has tried to, for example, it happened I think a year ago. So with some Samsung employee, you uploaded some sensitive data. It wasn't leaked really, but it was uploaded into the chat gpt for the use. So depending on whether you are using for personal or enterprise version, there are some options available, and you can exercise those.
Hmm. I see. Wow. It's very interesting. It's clear and yeah, very informative. So I'm curious, sir. Like you mentioned, these models can be used to create like websites, like can code a website. Does that like security or cybersecurity as well? Does that come along with that, or it should be a separate thing that like an organization has to do?
Well, good question. Actually, so it depends. If you are, for example, let's say if you're into an enterprise, usually the enterprise will use tools like GitHub Copilot, for example. And GitHub Copilots are really good. They are specifically meant for the coding purposes. From an enterprise user, you can actually use those. And there are some other workbenches also that you can use. um, and organizations generally have their own standards, so security wise you have to adhere to those standards so you're safe. From a personal point of view also, there are some, I think, like for example GoDaddy, right? They just recently also launched some AI tools which you can use to build the websites, etc. So you are hosting within their space and they provide those security things. You can use these models and tell them specifically what are your security requirements, and they will include that in the code as well. So you can do that. But ultimately, remember, the security responsibility is not default in the model. It is your responsibility to make sure what you want and you check off all those guardrails. That is very important.
I see. Well, thank you for clearing the one up, sir. All right. Yeah, please do add your questions if you have any before we yeah we get to close this webinar. It's the topics are very interesting. Like it can go a long way, but we have limited time. So
Yeah, it is. It is, and I think that this is important because a lot of folks don't know about reasoning models. Not every organization is still using it. They are still trying to figure out where to use it. But it is important that they start exploring it for these kind of use, like legal, scientific, mathematical, complex, logical. And I know some of the organizations, like 6 months ago they tried something and they were not satisfied with GPT-4o because it did not do the logical part very well. They stopped that initiative, but they can now pick that back up again and try it because now the new capabilities are available.
Yes, it's true. Like this models if explored by maybe the sectors education, finance, and all sorts. This could be a big growth.
Particularly
And
legal, scientific, research. These industries are particularly very, very suited for these models.
mhm. Yes, please do drop your questions if you have any there. And if none, definitely you can check Mr. Shida Hussein on LinkedIn. It's where I found him and sent him the invite. Definitely is very responsive and yeah, very willing to share his knowledge. Well, I appreciate the actual knowledge and experience. It really shows you really like doing this exploring this model, sir. So we are grateful for that you have joined us today in this initiative in yeah, sharing knowledge for free. And what are the yes, I forgot to mention earlier, but yeah, sir mentioned it that he has the AI Files channel at YouTube. So if you want to learn more further about AI, you can check on YouTube as well, the AI Files, and he is in Apple Podcasts as well, right, sir? The same name, the
Yes.
AI Files. Okay.
Yep.
And yeah, what are your future activities or like you can promote the? Do you have an upcoming book or an upcoming session or podcast?
Yeah, no, I would say that I think right now the podcast is the best way. 30 minutes to 1 hour episode every week we do, and we cover the news, we cover all the launches, we do the analysis, we talk about some of the AI companies, we talk about the famous quotes on the AI. Anybody has said something significant. We also talk about some of the issues and different perspectives, and we also bring the guests occasionally as well. So, just if you want to be up to date on the AI, and particularly if you are an enterprise and a corporate employee and you want to be aware of everything that is happening and just catch up in 30 to 45 minutes every week, that's the way to go. Otherwise, we like spend about close to 5 to 8 hours preparing for those content, and part of that is our job, so it's easier for us to do it. But as an individual, you save a ton of time if you just simply go with what you have available on our podcast.
Alrighty. All right. So okay, time is really a constraint, but definitely knowledge is not hindered from that. So speakers, um we wanted the topic to go more, but definitely the time is actually restraining us. But if you are like if you have missed this live session, the recorded one will be uploaded on the YouTube channel. Let us talk it so you can rewatch and put your comments or sections there on the. I mean your comments or questions on the chat section so we can bring it up to our speakers definitely and
Yeah.
yeah we can get the answers to you.
I
So
would only say that, if you want to do more use of AI, don't want to, however, commit, etc., you don't have professional subscription, you're not into an enterprise, I would say the best way is just to start using it. For example, use a Copilot, Microsoft Copilot, go to the Bing, and you can actually use it. There is free version as well. You can do deep research, things like that. You have the some of the AI capabilities available in Google also. In Apple Intelligence also. These are the areas where if you want to use in the personal domain, you can use these AI capabilities. And chatgpt.com, so there is a free version as well, so you can definitely go to the chatgpt and use the free version if you haven't tried that yet.
yes, definitely
Okay.
I agree. All right. So the webinar came to a close, and we really are pleased and honored to have our guest speakers today, Professor Amisha and Sir Shadab, for such amazing topic and insights, and very willing to share their experience as well, along with their passion and their work. into this platform. So hoping we can get another session in the future. And yes, if again, our previews webinars are available on Let Us Talk It channel, or you can visit www.letustalkit.com. All right, and don't forget to send connection invites or messages to our guest speakers today. It, if you should have any questions further that you missed out asking today. All right. So, for that case, we will be closing the webinar for today, and we would like to invite you again next Wednesday. So, the same time, 12 noon to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And we'll bring you two new topics and two new guest speakers. All right. And yes, for today, we will end the webinar as of now. And we thank you so much, especially to our guest speakers. Thank you so much. We are very honored. And yes, everyone, take care and thank you for your precious time joining the webinar today. All the best and keep safe as always.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.